Hey Giants, it's Mrs. Wood, the career coach in the counseling office. I am here today to talk to you about email. Let's take a minute to talk about how to put your best electronic foot forward. And this will apply whether you're talking about emailing your teachers, your counselors, your principal, if you're emailing a boss or coworker in the future, or if you're emailing college admissions folks. These are important rules that you need to keep in mind. The way that you correspond on your email reflects on you. So if you send a smart sounding email, it's going to make you look better. It can also help you find out answers to your questions a little easier. If you communicate clearly and ask the questions the right way, then you will get the answers back a little more clearly. And learning how to do this now, as I said, is going to help you in the future when you're out there rolling with the big dogs at work and with your colleagues. So when you're emailing teachers, counselors, your principal, anybody in the school environment, you want to be using your school email. It's safer for you, it's safer for your teachers, it kind of keeps things a little more organized for you because all your school emails can be in one spot. If you do email someone outside of school, like about a college admission application or a job interview or a scholarship, you want to be sure that the email you are using, which would be an outside of school email, is professional sounding. So you don't want to use something like hotpants@yahoo.com or baller25@gmail. You want to use something with your name on it maybe, or something that sounds professional, okay? Be sure you're using your subject line effectively. We've been getting a lot of emails lately that have the entire email in the subject line. That is obviously not a good way to be effective with your subject line. You want to make your subject line pretty succinct. You want to say what you're trying to find out about. Do not leave your subject line blank. That will not help your teacher. But having a good subject line helps the teacher or whomever is receiving the email to not only know what your email is going to be about, but to help them later if they need to find the email. So the subject line, just to be clear, is the line that's under your name usually when you're writing an email. So for example, if I was writing an email to Mrs. Shaw about a student, I would probably put the student's name as the subject line. That way she knows what I'm emailing her about. The next thing we're going to talk about is the salutation, and that is pointed out here in this visual. But a salutation is just a fancy way of saying how you greet someone. So a salutation on an email, you want to be appropriate. You don't want to be too casual, but you want to be as casual as you can be. So for example, if you're emailing a teacher, hello or hi is fine. But if you're emailing someone who's less familiar, like a college admissions person or a scholarship application person or someone who is interviewing you for a job, you want to use dear Mr. Smith or dear whoever the person is. Emailing is not texting, so please do not use the rules that you follow when you're texting. Don't use all caps. Don't use abbreviations, so no IDK or LOL or anything like that in an email. Don't use emojis in general. Don't use any extra punctuation. Don't put 15 exclamation points to emphasize something. If you need an exclamation point, use one. And I'm going to say this several times during this presentation: proofread, proofread, proofread. Your email is also not a novel or a report, so you want to keep it brief and succinct. A good rule of thumb is just 4 to 6 sentences long. Make sure the teacher knows what you want and how they can help you. If you have a lot of questions, use bullet points because that'll help kind of keep things clear and allow the teacher to see what your questions are. Be polite. Be polite, people. You're going to get more from being nice to folks than being rude. Don't make demands like I will expect to hear from you by this time. Use please and thank you, and close the email with thanking the person for their time and their help. If you have an attachment, be sure it is attached. Again, this is something that we see on occasion from students. Please, please, please sign your first and last name. I get this a lot from students. They think that we know who they are. I'll have someone fill out a form or something and they'll just write their first name on it. You really should not be doing this past elementary school, folks. If you are turning something into a teacher or if you're turning something into the counseling office or to the school, you need to write your first and last name on it. Teachers may know who you are, but other people may not, but also it's just a good habit to get into. Proofread, 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 proofread. If you're not sure, try reading it out loud to yourself. It'll help you catch anything that sounds weird and funky. Use your spell check and the grammar tools that are on your email. That's helpful. And for goodness sakes, please capitalize things that are supposed to be capitalized, especially I's. I think because people are used to texting, they often don't do that, but that is a really big deal when you're emailing. So go out there and be the awesome giants I know you are. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need help. You can email me at the counseling office. You can also call. You can find me on my webpage, which is, there's a link on the school webpage. So I will look forward to seeing each of your faces over the next few months. I hope you have a good one.